It's almost Halloween. One more day. What's up, everybody, and welcome. We got our coffee here and we're ready to go. We're going down to Anna Marie Island. We got a 320 Sea Ray. We got to put some hatches in, or some actuators in the main engine hatch or bilge area, I guess. Outboards, it ain't an engine hatch anymore. But we got to do that. And first, though, I want to show you yesterday I went and did some sea deck on a boat in Tarpon Springs, and we found a way that we can actually clean the chemical off real good. So I'm going to show you that, and then when we come back, I'll already be down in Anna Maria, so I'll just see you there. Well, thanks, future me. We're actually sitting in a 25 Sea Ray here, and I just want to give you something we found working at the shop that works pretty well for sea deck, and it's been a struggle with this stuff. I'll show you what this one's doing and why, and what we do to replace it, even though it's probably going to come up again later. But we give it the best we can as far as cleaning the surface and putting the new stuff down. And there's a trick to this because we've tried acetone, mineral spirits, all sorts of stuff, Goo Gone, nothing seemed to work, but we did find something, so let me show you. So this piece here is our walkway in our 25 here, and you can see water and heat have began to shrink that. We got a pretty good glue here that's pretty gross. It sticks everything to it. It's very difficult to get all this off of here. So what I do, we're gonna peel all this up, and we have a chemical, so let me get this all prepped. Okay, so I got everything off here. And what I do is put tape around all the other pieces here so we don't get any chemicals or anything, and I don't want to unbond this piece because we're doing this piece. So I just tape everything off real good, and we use this stuff right here. Seahawk. It's actually a local company from Clearwater here. You gotta zoom in here. See if I can get it better. There you go. So there is the phone number stuff if you need this stuff, but it works really well. It's S90. It has no chemicals. There's nothing basically in it to deal with. So I'm gonna spread this all over here and then let it sit. While I do, there's one more piece in the back here that I'm gonna do too, and I'll show you real quick. You can just let it sit, and I'll show you how it wipes off. All right, I got it soaking on everything. You can see you just kind of put it everywhere and let it sit. It starts to eat away at the glue really well. It's important to get the edges real good. This might take a couple times because this is so dirty and there's so much glue here, but the back came out good. So it's important to get the edges here. See, this one's already pretty clean. This is round 2 here, but you just start scrubbing on it and it'll take it right off. Use a brush if you want to, but it seems to work real well. Look, you can see the line disappear. See the difference there? And then all you gotta do is take hose, wash it off real good. And then what I do, you can do it a couple different ways here, is I use some lacquer thinner, get it all cleaned up, dried off. And then once it's completely dry, you can stick your new piece down here. I put them in the sun usually to get them hot because the glue seems to work a little better that way. So I try to leave them out so they get nice and hot before we stick them down. So it's a little bit of a process, and sometimes you have to use the etching stuff, the pink stuff, more than once because it depends how dirty and how much glue came off with that sea deck here. And all garbage. So anyway, I'm going to get back to it here, and I got a lot more scrubbing to do, a lot more cleaning to do here so I can stick them back down and on to the next one. So back to you, future me. All right, we're here down in Anna Maria. We got a 32 Sea Ray that we have to do as actuators, like I was saying. And if you have any more tips or tricks of sea deck, let me know, because it's a difficult one to deal with that glue and putting it back down perfectly and just getting it clean. So I know pressure washing works pretty well, but I can't do that when I'm traveling around the marinas, unfortunately. So let me know. The pizza roller trick is a good one. Actually, somebody left me that comment, and I got a wooden pizza roller, and you can roll that stuff, get the glue real nice and tight, go around the edges, and seems to hold up pretty well that way. But sun and water and the humidity here and salt and everything else just tear stuff up. So of course eventually they'll have to be replaced again, and seems like an ongoing process with sea deck. So anyway, we are here at Safe Harbor here, and well, these doors don't work, the back ones do, but the hurricane pushed these doors off of the sliders here. So we got a door right there that I can sneak through, and I gotta get all my stuff on there, and well, I'll meet you on the boat. So we are here, and it's actually quiet for once because our forklift's not running. Covers half off here because we're just working in the back. That's 32 here. This is actually the boat. If you go back in time, the videos where I changed out the water tank in the cabin in this thing. So I already have the batteries on. Let's open this up. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do here, we have this one unplugged so it doesn't move. It's all the way up. I got my dog bone here to help in case something happens. Maybe it'll save me. And C-Ray also puts one of these sticks, so if something happens, you can pull these pins through these hatch holes right here. There's one on each side under the seats. You pull the pin out of each one. That way the actuators are free, and then you have to have 2 or 3 big dudes to lift this heavy hatch up, and then you can put this bar down, which gets stored right here. So I'm putting it down just in case if it falls or something happens, it's going to slide and hopefully catch itself. So I got 2 things here, and we're going to leave one on at a time anyways, because we got to make sure they run up and down together. So right now this one's plugged in, and what I'm going to do is lower it a little bit so that that pin right there frees up. Just a little bit. That should be good. So now we're loose, and this being loose, there's no pressures and nothing is moving here, so that's a good thing. Be careful, obviously, if you're doing this, and this one is holding everything up here. Plus we got this, and I guess last resort here. So let's pull this pin out. We can lean this. So now we got her unplugged, and it's literally just one bolt on the bottom on that bracket right there. So I need both my hands here because I got to get it between the battery. When we get that out, we'll get the new ones out of the box. All right, I got her off here. So right here, I shrank it too, so it'll fit back in our box here, so they can send it back if they need to. Cool thing too is they sent new pins, so I'm gonna leave spares for you here. Well, Brian watches my video, so I'm gonna put them in your cup holder at the dash for you. So you have a couple spare pins because I don't need them, and there's no reason to be wasteful. So here's our new ones. They already deutshed for us, which is cool. So we're basically just gonna reverse this process. I'm gonna put this one on here, and we'll pick it up so that I can line it up here, and gotta do number 2 here. All right, before we move on to the next one here, I want to show you something because a lot of people will do this. If you plug it in, you push the button, this thing is just going to spin in a circle. Because it's on a screw, it has to be tight in one spot. And another thing, the bracket right there, you want to make sure that that's pretty snug, but it can move back and forth still. That way it doesn't have any side-to-side movement. You want it to be basically just moving up and down, walking this way, not this way. So instead of running this with the electrical, you could have someone hold this and push the button and it'll go up. But you can literally just put this in it and spin it since it's on a screw, and it'll raise itself up. So that's all you gotta do to get it to the height we want here, and hook it up. All right, there we go. So you one-handed in the hole. Now I'm gonna unplug this one after I raise them both back up here, or raise this one all the way up, and then unplug this one, plug this one back in, and do the same thing. So let me do that real quick. All right, we're in. Let's see if this dog bone had any pressure on it. Oh yeah, we got both of them now though. Get that out of the way. We'll redo that. Let's see how it sounds. Okay, and the fun begins here because we have 2 problems now. So I know where the noise was coming from now. Before it sounded like this thing was popping. Basically that actuator was popping its way up and down. Right, focus camera. But this corner right here is actually making the noise when it touches that corner. It just a little bit of vibration comes from it because it's just rubbing that, and it's kind of pushing its way down. So you can still hear that thumping noise, but it's not as bad as it was. And 2, that guy right there, bad out of the box. So the other one was good. We just were going to change both because this one was making some racket. So I'm going to put the good one back on it on this side here, but let's take a listen. That thing, listen to it. Yeah, that don't sound good. And this one's quiet, nice. So let me put the new one on here and I'll show you what I mean by rubbing right here. We're gonna try to spray something and see if it quiets up so we can prove it. Okay, we got our old new actuator on here. So, see, now we don't have any noise going. Sounds good. But when we get to this part here in that corner, right there, it's gonna start making noise. Listen, now it's starting to touch. So it's dragging a little bit. That's causing all that noise. So what I'm gonna do is put some grease on it and see if I can change it. Okay, we are here with some grease, and there, I don't know how well you can see this, but it's kind of dark. You can see the scratch marks where it's touching right here. I think that just grabbing that is causing it to make that popping, vibrating noise because it's putting pressure on this while it's trying to pull it down. So let's grease that up just to see if it makes any difference at all. This should squeeze this grease right out of there because it's touching. This will tell us that we need to do fiberglass work. Just sand both sides down and make them smooth again, and should be good to go. See how it sounds smooth now? That grease is helping it. So yeah, the clearance issue there, that's what's causing all the havoc. Okay, at least we figured it out. And this actuator needed to be replaced anyway, so we got 1 out of 2 that are good. Sounds better just with the grease on it. Well, good. I'm glad all this worked out here, and we got our actuators in. They're not making any crazy noises. And we found out the actual problem here is the hat's rubbing. So that could have caused a problem with one of the actuators. Like I say, the starboard one was making some weird grinding noises anyway, so not a bad thing to change it out before it breaks. And you got to pull those pins and lift this by hand and everything else. So got 2 good actuators. I'm not the fiberglass guy, so I'll have to send somebody out here to fix that one little spot, and we'll be good to go here until the next whatever might happen to this boat. As all boats do, they're gonna fail at some point. Anyway, I hope everybody has a happy Halloween, and I will see you next time. Later. This is a nice custom rig here. The old HCB. I like how they painted the horn, the antennas, everything the same color. The radar, it's all matching. Pretty slick.